is Erica. You're listening to I Read the Whole Bible Every Year community. We are a community that brings awareness to biblical illiteracy, and we endeavor to eradicate the fear and intimidation out of reading God's Word. We do this by providing biblical resources and tools to help myself and you become more proficient Bible readers. So let me make this disclaimer that the music that you hear playing, I do not own the rights to the music. However, I do have permission to use it. So we are on day 229, and we'll be reading from the book of Nehemiah, 1 Corinthians, Psalm, and Proverbs. I'd like to say hello to my good friend Eric and my mother out on Facebook, and to all the listeners out there on Periscope, YouTube, Twitter, and I think I forgot one. YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, Facebook, and to all the replay viewers that will join later. So I'll give you a moment to get those scriptures in front of you, and I will be right back. I am back, and so let's see, we are starting out with Nehemiah chapter 11. One moment while I get that in front of me. I got a little bit distracted. I forgot that because this particular chapter in Nehemiah has a few difficult names, not too bad. And so when I have a chapter like that, I go ahead and read that from my physical Bible. It breaks it down for me phonetically. So let me get there real quickly. And that's going to be Nehemiah chapter 12. My bad, chapter 12, starting at verse 27. Let me adjust my light. And we can go ahead and get started. So chapter 12, verse 27. And I have it from me right in front of me right here. So I'll go ahead and turn down the music, and we're ready to get started. Okay. I hope you guys can hear me okay. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're pretty much almost done with Nehemiah, because Nehemiah only has 13 chapters, and then we go to the book of Esther. So I always get excited when we go to a new book. Alrighty, let's get started. Nehemiah chapter 12, verse 27. And at the dedication of the wall of Jerusalem, they sought the Levites out of all their places to bring to Jerusalem, to keep the dedication with gladness, both with thanksgiving and with singing, with cymbals, psalteries, and with harps. And the sons of the singers gathered themselves together, both out of the plain country round about Jerusalem, and from the villages of Nephtoathai. Also from the house of Gilgal and out of the fields of Geba and Asmaveth, for the singers had builded them villages round about Jerusalem. And the priests and the Levites purified themselves, and purified the people, and the gates, and the wall. Then I brought up the princes of Judah up on the wall, and appointed 2 great companies of them that gave thanks, whereof one went on the right hand upon the wall toward the dung gate. And after them went Hoshea, and half of the princes of Judah, and Azariah, Ezra, and Meshullam, Judah and Benjamin, and Shemaiah, and Jeremiah, and certain of the priest's sons with trumpets, namely Zechariah, the son of Jonathan, the son of Shemaiah, the son of Mattaniah, the son of Micaiah, the son of Zakur, the son of Asaph. And his brethren Shemaiah and Azarel, Me'alai, Gilali, Maai, Nathaniel, and Judah, Hanani, with the musical instruments of David, the man of God, and Ezra, the scribe, before them. And the fountain gate, which was over them, they went up by the stairs of the city of David. Sorry, guys, got a glare on my pages. Actually, a shadow. Oh, there we go. Much better light now. Okay. Starting over at verse 37. And at the fountain gate, which was over against them, they went up by the stairs of the city of David, at the going up of the wall above the house of David, even unto the water gate eastward. And the other company of them that gave thanks went over against them. And I after them, and the half of the people upon the wall from beyond the tower of the furnaces, even unto the broad wall, and from above the gate of Ephraim, and above the old gate, and above the fish gate, and the tower of Hananiel, and the tower of Meah, even unto the sheep gate, and they stood still in the prison gate. So stood the 2 companies of them that gave thanks in the house of God, and I and the half of the rulers with me. And the priest of Eliakim, Maaseiah, Menamim, Micaiah, Elionai, Zechariah, and Hananiah with trumpets, and Maaseiah, and Shemaiah, and Eleazar, and Uzai, and Johanan, and Melchijah, and Elam, and Ezer, and the singers sang loud with Jerahiah, their overseer. Also that day they offered great sacrifices and rejoiced, for God had made them rejoice with great joy. The wives also the children rejoiced, so that the joy of Jerusalem was heard even afar off. And at that time were some appointed over the chambers of the treasures, for the offerings for the firstfruits, and for the tithe to gather into them out of the fields of the cities, the portions of the law for the priests and Levites. For Judah rejoiced for the priests and for the Levites that waited. And both the singers and the porters kept the word of their God and the word of the purification, according to the commandment of David and of Solomon his son. For in the days of David and Asaph of old, there were chief of the singers, and songs of praise and thanksgiving unto God. And all Israel in the days of Zerubbabel and in the days of Nehemiah gave the portions of the singers and the porters every day his portion, and they sanctified holy things unto the Levites, and the Levites sanctified them unto the children of Aaron. Chapter 13. On that day they read in the book of Moses in the audience of the people, and therein was found written that the Ammonite and the Moabite should not come into the congregation of God forever, because they met not the children of Israel with bread and with water, but hired Balaam against them, that he should curse them. Howbeit our God turned the curse into a blessing. Now it came to pass, when they had heard the law, that they separated from Israel all the mixed multitude. And before this, Eliashib the priest, having the oversight of the chamber of the house of our God, was allied unto Tobiah. And he had prepared for him a great chamber, where aforetime they laid the meat offerings, the frankincense, and the vessels, and the tithes of the corn, the new wine, and the oil, which was commanded to be given to the Levites, and the singers, and the porters, and the offerings of the priest. But in all this time was not I at Jerusalem, for in the 32nd year of Artaxerxes, king of Babylon, came I unto the king, and after certain days obtained I leave of the king. And I came to Jerusalem, and understood of the evil that Eliashib did for Tobiah, in preparing him a chamber in the courts of the house of God. And it grieved me sore. Therefore I cast forth all the household stuff of Tobiah out of the chamber. Then I commanded, and they cleansed the chambers, and thither brought I again the vessels of the house of God, with the meat offering and the frankincense. And I perceived that the portions of the Levites had not been given them, for the Levites and the singers that did the work were fled every one to his field. Then contended I with the rulers, and said, Why is the house of God forsaken? And I gathered them together, and set them in their place. Then brought all Judah tithe of the corn, and the new wine, and the oil unto the treasuries. And I made treasurers over the treasuries, Shelemiah the priest, and Zadok the scribe, and of the Levites Pedadiah, and next to them was Hanan the son of Zakur, the son of Mattaniah, for they were counted faithful, and their office was to distribute unto their brethren. Remember me, O God, concerning this, and wipe not out my good deeds that I have done for the house of my God, and for the offices thereof. In those days I saw I in Judah some treading wine presses on the Sabbath, and bringing in sheaves, and landing asses, also wine, grapes, and figs, and all manner of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victuals. There dwelt men of Tyre also therein, which brought fish and all the manner of ware, and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Judah, and in Jerusalem. Then I contended with the nobles of Judah, and said unto them, What evil thing is this that ye do, and profane the Sabbath day? Did not your fathers thus, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us and upon this city? Yet ye bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath. And it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut, and charged that they should not be opened till after the Sabbath. And some of my servants set I at the gates, that there should be no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day. So the merchants and the sellers of all kind of ware lodged without Jerusalem once or twice. Then I testified against them and said unto them, Why lodge ye about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you. From that time forth came they no more on the Sabbath. And I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves, and that they should come and keep the gates, to sanctify the Sabbath day. Remember me, O my God, concerning this also, and spare me according to the greatness of thy mercy. In those days also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab. And the children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people. And I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and plucked off their hair, and made them swear by God, saying, Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons, or for yourselves. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him who was beloved of his God. And God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our God in marrying strange wives? And one of these sons of Joadai, the son of Eliashib, the high priest, was son-in-law to Sanballat the Horonite. Therefore I chased him from me. Remember them, O my God, because they have defiled the priesthood, and the covenant of the priesthood and of the Levites. Thus cleanse I them from all strangers, and appointed the wards of the priest and the Levites, every one in his business, and for the wood offering at times appointed, and for the first fruits, remember me, O my God, for good. And that concludes Nehemiah, I believe. Yeah, that concludes the book of Nehemiah. Awesome. So let's see. Let me go back over to my computer one moment, and we'll be moving over to the New Testament. And let's see. We are starting in, one second. Okay, we'll be starting in, let's see here, scrolling. Here we are. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1 through 16. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered, dishonoreth her head. For that is even all one, as if she were shaven. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of God. But the woman is the glory of the man. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head, because of the angels. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord. For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman, but all things of God. Judge in yourselves, it is comely that a woman pray unto God uncovered? Doth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering. But if any man seem to be contentious, we have no such custom, neither the churches of God. Moving back over to the Old Testament, Psalm 35, 1 through 16. Please my cause, O Lord, with them that strive with me. Fight against them that fight against me. Take hold of shield and buckler, and stand up for mine help. Draw out also the spear, and stop the way against them that persecute me. Say unto my soul, I am thy salvation. Let them be confounded and put to shame that seek after my soul. Let them be turned back and brought to confusion that devise my hurt. Let them be as chaff before the wind, and let the angel of the Lord chase them. Let their way be dark and slippery, and let the angel of the Lord persecute them. For without cause have they hid for me their net in a pit, which without cause they have digged for my soul. Let destruction come upon him at unawares, and let his net that he hath hid catch himself. Into that very destruction let him fall. And my soul shall be joyful in the Lord, it shall rejoice in his salvation. All my bones shall say, Lord, who is like unto thee, which deliverest the poor from him that is too strong for him? Yea, the poor and the needy from him that spoileth him. False witnesses did rise up, they laid to my charge things that I knew not. They rewarded me evil for good, to the spoiling of my soul. But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled my soul with fasting, and my prayer returned into mine own bosom. I have behaved myself as though he had been my friend or brother. I bowed down heavily, as one that mourneth for his mother. But in mine adversity they rejoiced and gathered themselves together. Yea, the abjects gathered themselves together against me, and I knew it not. They did tear me and ceased not, with hypocritical mockers in feast, and they gnashed upon me with their teeth. Proverbs 21, verse 17 and 18. He that loveth pleasure shall be a poor man. He that loveth wine and oil shall not be rich. The wicked shall be a ransom for the righteousness, and the transgressor for the upright. Well, that concludes my reading for tonight. Again, my name is Erica. You're listening to I Read the Whole Bible Every Year. We are a community that brings awareness to biblical illiteracy, and we endeavor to eradicate the fear and intimidation out of reading God's Word. And we do this by providing biblical resources and tools to help myself and you become more proficient Bible readers. Well, thank you out there again for joining me, Eric, and my mother out on Facebook. And to Humble Servant, thank you for joining out there on Periscope. And to all the listeners on YouTube and Twitter, thank you for joining. And to all the replay viewers, thank you for the compliments and the likes and all the shares, and just for being here with me tonight. Everything is going okay in my world, and I hope it's going okay in your world. Hope you guys are staying safe, and that you're all well, and that your families are well and all in good health. So I am going to get out of here and get some rest. And what's tomorrow? Tomorrow is Tuesday, so I'll be with you tomorrow. We'll have Elonda reading on Thursday, and then Teresa again on Thursday. So again, guys, I love you. Thank you for supporting the channel. I'll see you tomorrow, God willing. Take care. God bless you. Have a good night's rest. This is Erica. You're listening to I Read the Whole Bible Every Year. Bye-bye.